Hey everyone, this is Untitled, and welcome to this pre-recorded video. Today I want to talk about fly-by-wire Airbus 320 versus Aerosoft Airbus 320. And before I start explaining why I'm doing this, I want to mention that one is a freeware and the other one is a payware, so that seemed like an unfair representation. And I want to mention that fly-by-wire does an amazing job at fixing the Airbus 320 in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think I've seen actually them releasing 4 or 5 different development build every day. They're working really hard and tirelessly trying to improve the default aircraft, which wasn't in the greatest states. But thanks to them, thanks to their work, I think people of Microsoft Flight Simulator can enjoy just a better Airbus. Today, I'm in the prepared, and we're going to do cold and dark with the 2 planes. And the reason I pick Aerosoft is I think it is about as good as an aircraft without going into study level type aircraft. So the Aerosoft is a decent product. It offers a lot of the features of a normal Airbus. It just doesn't have that level of simulation that the FS Lab version has. It's also a more affordable product, and I think this is something that fly-by-wire can achieve in Microsoft Flight Simulator. If there is a target of where they would want their plane to be, I think that's a pretty good target to get to. And this old conversation of versus started when just having some chat with some fellow flight simmers, and people were asking me, what is wrong with the fly-by-wire Airbus 320? It's pretty good. And I said, and then we started talking about some of the feature that it was missing, and that I thought that Aerosoft was a better Airbus at this moment. And so they wanted to see what's the difference. So let's start with this. First of all, if you do Shift F4, you get some kind of MCDU pop-up. But one of the things you notice is that I can actually put the plane in different states. So I can go from taxi state to takeoff state, regardless of where I'm at or whatever gate I'm sitting at. So this is something that is cool. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can only be cold and dark when you're at the gate or ready to take off when you're on the runway. There's no in between. So this is a pretty good feature. Also, you can manage the door of your aircraft, and you have ground services, which right now I have external power, but of course Microsoft Simulator has some of this stuff already. And you have your own pushback, because if you don't have an add-on and prepare, you can't really do pushback, but this planes offer it. So that's a pretty cool feature. So before we start really I'm just going to do cold and dark in this video, and then we'll do a takeoff in the second video, and then a landing on the third one. I'm just going to turn the battery on and put external power and put the pumps on. And I'm just going to, this is only to save time, okay? Because it takes about 7 minutes to align the IRS. So I just want to do that really quick while it's doing all of that. You know, I don't have to worry about other things. So let's start with the little iPad that we have here. So as you can see, it has every checklist and flow imaginable you would need with this plane. It's all right here. And I found that very, very, very good. So in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you do have this integration, but in this plane, it's right on that pad. So you can go through all your procedure, and it has procedures, you know, for the pilots, the captain, and the first officer as well. Other thing, it has Navigraph charts right up there in the pad, so it's a pretty cool feature. It also has some calculation regarding your VR, for your takeoff data. It also have weather data for a specific area. You can have satellite maps for whatever you are in the world. You can have your own documents in there loaded. Like you can see here, I loaded my SimBrief flight plan in here, although it's very hard to see. And you can check the winds. Flight aware doesn't work. There's another options. I don't know what it is. Maybe it needs a fix, but you can see the wind. Anyway, it's a pretty cool feature. So let me go into here, and I'm gonna go into inits, and I'm gonna load my flight plan. CYVR is the plan that we're gonna do, and this is gonna be 01, and I'm gonna put that here. And it's going to find my plan. And we're going to say that we are Air Canada 100 for this flight number. Now, the cost index, I think I'm going to put 80 for the cost index. And this is going to be flight level 320. And temperature is going to be minus 35. It should say minus 35 in here. And we can go to RNS inits. It's not aligned yet, so we can't do that. Okay, so let's go look at my flight plan. It's missing some data. Obviously, there is some flight discontinuity that we need to fix. But my flight plan is here, and of course, when you go to Calgary, it is a vector approach to this runway. So we have a manual. You want to keep the flight discontinuity in here because, you know, when that's of course etc can tell you to go somewhere else. So this is important that we have it here. We can fix this here by actually if we clear this here and we do a temp insert, now it's all good. Everything is gonna work the way we want it. So let me just go back to where we are, which is here. I'm going to go into the perf page, and it should have all my V information already. Apparently it hasn't because I forgot to do something, which is 0 fuel weight, how much block. Now, I want to show you something also came with the plan. You guys can see here. This is a fuel planner, and based on, you know, it comes with 2 aircraft. So I have the 320 and 321. But for this 320, if you have 109 passenger and this amount of cargo, it tells you how much fuel you should have in each of the wings, in each of the tanks. What is the trip distance? How much should we plan for? How much is our taxi time? So we should change that here. Let's plan for 380. EPU time. Alternate distance to get to the next airport in case there's an issue, how much holding fuel we should have, and it calculates all of this stuff, and that helps you set up the plane. It also gives you 0 fuel weight, takeoff weight, landing weights, so you get all of this information in here. It's really great. But also right now, if I go in here and I go fuel and payload, I don't have much fuel. I only have 295, which should be 4,000. So we should put that to, let's say, 35. Well, that's maybe a little too much. So let's put 21 in here, another 21 in here. We'll have extra, and then we'll put that we have 21st class. And then I said 109. So we're going to put 80. And I'm going to put 29, and that will be 109. So that will be our fuel planning. And then I can just click in here, and then I have my 0 fuel weight. I'm just going to put extra 5 block in here. And there we go. Now that we have our prediction, we have all the data that we need. And if I go to perf, now I should have my, oops, I need to put the flaps first. So flaps. There we go. Now it says it's going to be 1 flap. 0.8, and I have my V1, VR, and V2 reference already. Let me go back to the flight plan. Now, one thing you've noticed, and I'm just going to go in here and get a closer look. You can see that that I have actually all of the speed and all the flight level throughout my flight plan. And I also have when I'm going to reach top of the cruise and when I'm ready for top of descent. So this is all calculated by the MCDU. Let me get, maybe this view will be better. So this is the difference between fly-by-wire, and we'll go through that when we get to the Microsoft. But here we go. Now I know everything I need to know when it comes to the speed, and it's actually, you know, the computer on the aircraft who's going to calculate all of the stuff for us. Time to start the EPU. Let me just go back here, and we're going to look at the EPU data in here. And what we're waiting for is the EPU flaps to be open. Did I did something wrong? Maybe. No, it says flaps open. So if we go back here, we just have to be patient. Should not be off. We're going to start the APU. We're just going to watch it go up in here. Now, we're going to set, while we're waiting here, I'm going to set my, my altimeter to 6,000. There we go. See, now we have all our plan already on the primary flight display. And I want to show you that you can put it on plan. And now if you click here and you go down into our plan, let me just change the, as we go down in here, we can see all of our flight plan here of what it's going to look like when we arrive to Calgary. So this is something I like. It's very well done. It's very easy to do. We forgot to put some lights, so let's arm seatbelt sign. We could probably put the nav logo already, and normally we would call for a pushback. I just want to start the engine and show you guys how it works. So I'm gonna go to engine. And so we're going to put it on start, and I'm going to start engine 1. And we're going to look at the information in here. So we should see these numbers come up. Did I miss something in here? For some reason my battery were off. I didn't know that was a thing. Engine 1 should be starting. Of course, it's every time I make a video, I make a mistake and my engines are not starting. And this is why I'm not a professional streamer, or I have all the pumps on. This is all good. I don't think I've missed anything. Oh, I forgot the EPU bleed. Of course. There we go. That's the recording, you know, without cutting off. This is what happened, guys. And it could happen to everyone. So it's good to understand that. You gotta learn how to troubleshoot when you make a mistake. And so there you go. So now it's starting. And it should go. There we go. This is what you're looking for. It's gonna go, it's gonna sweep and go down. And now it's available. As you can hear here, the EFB. All right, so let's start engine number 2. I want you to hear the sound of this plane. This is gonna crank it up just a little bit. And here we go. And now once this is done, we can put it back to normal. I'm gonna open my nav stack. I'm gonna put some a little bit more lights in here. All right, so we are ready to go. Like we would call for taxi, and I'm gonna keep that for the second video because I don't want to make this video too long. Because now we're going to do the exact same thing in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So thanks to technology, let's go to the Microsoft. All right, now we're back to Microsoft. Obviously, the graphic is totally different. I do have a custom airport for Vancouver, so obviously, guys, it's not the same thing. So let's start by powering up this pad there in a fly-by-wire Airbus A320NX, and as you can see, we can load from SimBrief. So let me try that. Actually, I never tried to load from SimBrief for some reason. Maybe that function is not working yet. All right, so we get an overview. We got load sheet is not available yet. Fuel calculation or payload still not there. I got to figure out how to load from SimBrief. This is a brand new. Maybe it's looking for something in a specific folder, which I haven't checked yet. So that's a problem. Then flight maps, I'm guessing here. So see, there's a top of descent calculator because the MCDU, as I'll show you guys, doesn't have that calculation yet. Ooh, SimBrief username. Maybe that's the problem here. Let me fix that. And then there you go. And now can I load? Oh, there we go. That works. Perfect. Hey, you know what? This is actually pretty good. This is new. So I got my flight plan, and then what I can do is I'm going to link it to the MCDU, but I haven't started it yet. All right, so top of descent calculator and on ground. See, this is kind of the things that the Shift F4 was showing me in the other aircraft. So it's cool. You can passenger, baggage, external power. All of this stuff is here. This I like it. Okay, so I don't have any view set up. I apologize, guys. So we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, we're gonna turn the power, and we're gonna put external power. Love the sound, by the way. They have pretty good sound. I'm gonna put the pumps on already, and we're gonna align the IRS. So that actually doesn't really change this much. Good. You should have now power. Let me just, I should have set up my camera. I haven't. Now I'm hating myself for not doing that. Okay, so let me increase the glare brightness and the panel brightness. There you go. I'm gonna do the same here because, you know, you want to do this. So it says 7 minutes to align. This is what we are expecting. And we're gonna go into the MCDU, and we're gonna start with init. And so let's see if this pad actually works. Link to MCDU. Init requests. No SimBrief users. Do I have to go back to here and configure it? Let's see. Nope. Oh, SimBrief. I guess I have to type my name in here. So it's a little more convoluted process to do all of this compared to the way I've done it on, but actually it works. So you know what? This is actually pretty good. I won't complain about that. Username. And user ID is not allowed. Username should be good enough. Let's see if that works. We're doing this, we're learning it as we go. Let's see into inits, and can I do, oh, there we go. So you know what, that's not it's not bad. All right, we can now. One thing is, it's not even aligned yet, but yeah, I can do my alignment. So that's, I'm guessing that's a Microsoft thing. If we go to the second page, okay, can I do my zero fuel weight? It works. And then we said we would put 3 blocks. There we go. So that's not bad. That's that's pretty good. Let's see if we can do so. The flap is 1/UP 0.8. Let's see if it takes that. It does. And we get our VREF. So that's pretty decent. It's pretty good. Like right from the start, that's something you can work with. You know. All right. So obviously, one of the major issue here is there's no VNAV. So even though I have flight levels here, I don't have any of the speed, which means that the managed speed that you should be at each waypoint with the altitude is missing. So that's one major part of it. Now, let me see if they fix some of the screens in here. So you do have engine bleed. They've done a pretty good job of working on that. So the electrics are there. Okay, we have no information on there. But this one, we're gonna need the APU. Okay, well, it's a different model of plane. So, oops. Let's go down here and let's make a request to see. It should say flaps open, which it did. I'm going to start the EPU. So obviously, one thing I noticed is it starts a little faster than, but maybe the 320 Neo is faster than the older 320. All right, so it's kind of climbing up. This is kind of what we want to see. Okay, so far, you know, the biggest thing of notice is obviously it's missing all the VNAV data. All right, 100%.
Vancouver ground Airbus Alpha Sierra
and we're hearing my AI
pushback.
controlling the ATC calling for a pushback.
Pushback request accepted.
I'm gonna do an APU bleed on so that we don't forget. We're gonna go back to engine. Although my line is only gonna be in 4 minutes, I'm gonna turn this on. I'm gonna go on engine 1. So we see the N2 here. Normally I put the terrain on display. We're gonna add that. We're gonna do that when we do taxi and takeoff in the second video. We're gonna do this. So N2 is good. Now it's climbing. AGT is climbing, and then we should see N1 climbing. This is the thing we want to see. This is pretty good. Like for a freeware, you know, and compared to what the default aircraft is, I'm very impressed. It's obviously we're going to see a lot more differences, and when it comes to the MCDU, as you can see in the other previous portion of the video, you saw how I had my top of cruise and my top of descent and all my speed reference for all of the waypoint. Obviously, you do not have this in this one. Let's see if, oh, okay, so that works. It's pretty good. All right, so let's start the second engine. Right. Did the ATC said that we could have pushback? Well, if I'm on parking brake, I think the plane's not gonna go back. What do you guys think? Okay, second engine. I think because I moved the plane before the IRS were aligned, we're getting a nav TCAS fault, which is actually a pretty good. I think that's what it's supposed to be doing. All right, let me just wait till it gets to N1 gets to 20%. Obviously, I'm trying to go too fast here. Didn't even put the flaps. Didn't even do any of the lights, you know. All right. Seat belt, no smoking. You know. Strobe lights. Oops. Okay, so
Vancouver
what we're
ground
going to do
Airbus Alpha
is,
Sierra X-ray 320
I think it's a good,
requesting the end of pushback.
all right, we're going to stop the pushback
Airbus
here.
Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 request to end pushback received.
Okay. And I believe at this point we can turn
Vancouver
off
ground Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray
the
320
EPU
with
and the
Yankee
EPU
request
bleed,
taxi
and
for
we should
takeoff
be
south
okay.
departure.
And the engines, everything is good. So we're going to end this video here on this cold and dark, and I think we're going to see a lot more differences as we go into takeoff and top of descent. So I hope you enjoyed this first portion of this video, and
Taxiing
please
hold
leave your
short
comments.
runway
And of
using
course, I did a
taxiway
lot
to
of
the
things
November
wrong, so
Echo Romeo
you are
Juliet
welcome
leaving cross runway
to
31
comments
Lima
about all the
Airbus
things I've done
320.
wrong, and that's okay. Just don't be too mean, okay? Thank you guys. I'll see you on the next video.